Tonight was a perfect night for a hike through the woods.
Yeah, Dude, did you hear that?
Whoa, there's another one.
This is so weird.
What do you think they want?
They're night owls.
They want their rock.
Tune in to the Night Owl Rock Show with Curtis and Sarah.
Every Sunday night from 10 to midnight on 88.1 The Edge. You're tuned in to 88.1 The Edge, the Night Owl Rock Show with Curtis and Sarah, the show that rocks your socks. Tonight we have some different news throughout the evening. We got 15 of the sexiest videos in rock. We got some current rock news, and of course, my famous rock trivia.
Also, we've got a big win for rock in the Grammys. It will be great to hear which rock bands blew everyone else out of the water and won some Grammys tonight. And of course, we have our all-time, all Des Moines famous Battle of the Bands. Woo! So make sure you stay tuned. Right now, we've got Hold On by Korn here on 88.1 The Edge. Flyleaf fully alive on 88.1 The Edge. You're tuned in to the late night Night Owl Rock Show.
Rock and roll.
So we've got to be proud as rock fans of the people who represent us in the rock industry, especially when it comes to a night like the Grammys.
Oh, yes.
I know that rock isn't like super prevalent in the Grammys because the Grammys are more about pop music and blah, blah, blah. But the rock artists that won still represent us, and there are three major ones that won big tonight. Trent Reznor won for his work on the soundtrack of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Hailstorm won for the best hard rock / metal performance, and they beat out big name hard rock bands like Lamb of God and Iron Maiden, so that was intense. And then the Black Keys won a lot of stuff tonight too. That was actually really surprising. Like, I don't know a lot about the Black Keys. I've listened to some of their stuff and they're pretty good, but the fact that they like just won almost everything in the rock category.
They're big. I mean, they're getting really big anymore. The thing about Hailstorm, though, you were saying some of those big acts that they were beating out. I mean, there was some huge act. Like, they had Anthrax, Marilyn Manson was in there, Megadeth. I mean, I couldn't believe they beat out some of those people, but they were very humble about it.
Yeah, Lizzie actually referenced Lamb of God in their acceptance speech and was just like, hey, this guitar part inspired us, and that's the reason why we wrote it the way we did. And I've seen them live, so I know how she acts with their fans, and she's really even humble with the fans, and she's always thanking the fans, so I wasn't surprised that they were very humble with their acceptance of the award.
Well, and they're definitely, I mean, I've seen them live too, they're definitely one of the greatest bands I've ever seen live. I mean, just the way they interact with the crowd and everything, they're great.
And the fact that they can win an award like the best hard rock and metal performance, that really speaks volumes, because I know I didn't really consider them hard rock or metal.
Yep.
And so I mean, I love the song Love Bites, which is the song that they won for, but I didn't really see it as something that was hard rock. But now that I guess, looking back at it, it kind of is.
It is, yeah, it's a definitely hard rock song.
It's definitely fast-paced, although it's not my favorite song from their new album, but I do love it.
Mm-hmm, agreed. I was actually checking out the Grammys a little bit before our show, and Jack White played an amazing 1-minute song or set that was just great early before going on.
That's
Do you
cool.
like Jack White and the White Stripes?
I liked him in the White Stripes, but I haven't heard any of his solo stuff, so I don't know.
Well, check that out.
All right, up next we've got From Yesterday by 30
Seconds to Mars
here on 88.1 The Edge.
KDPS 88.1 The Edge. I've actually got some current rock news that I'm actually kind of excited about. Fall Out Boy has called off their hiatus. They're actually going to release a new album called Save Rock and Roll on May 7th on Decadence Records. And they're also going to go out and do a big North American tour starting in March.
Ooh, so, I love Fall Out Boy.
I do too. It's one of those things that they were kind of the soundtrack of my middle school years. Them and Green Day and Hawthorne Heights, both, all three of those groups.
Baby.
Oh, ha.
I'm sorry.
But I mean, I definitely loved From Under the Cork Tree and Take This to Your Grave. Both those albums were awesome to me. later stuff where they got a little bit too poppy for me. You know, they did the Michael Jackson cover of Beat It and all that. That really wasn't for me. But their early stuff when they were, more of a punk, hardcore group, that was awesome. And I would love to see that again. So hopefully with this, new tour and everything and the new record, maybe they'll go back to that.
Maybe. I do have to disagree with you a little bit, though. I did like their cover of Michael Jackson's Beat It.
Oh,
I know.
No.
I know some people don't like it, but I like covers, and if they do a decent job, I'm not going to be like, oh, that sucks because it was a cover or it doesn't sound like their band. They were experimenting and trying something new, and it sounded good.
It was very good. I'm a big MJ fan outside of rock. I love Michael Jackson. And
so am I.
This is one of but Eddie Van Halen's solo on Beat It, you can't surpass that.
Well, I can live with it as much as I can live with Alien Ant Farm's cover of And Are You Okay? AKA Smooth Criminal.
Yeah.
I love that
it
song.
It was great.
But I like the faster pace in the rock.
I agree. But, alright, well, up next, you have Dance Dance by Fall Out Boy.
Your guardian angel, red jumpsuit apparatus here on 88.1 The Edge. You're still tuned in to the Night Owl Rock Show with Curtis and Sarah. And now it's time for the results of our Battle of the Bands. And the winner of this week's Battle of the Bands is, drumroll please, Stained with an outstanding vote of 6-2. I mean, you people must really not like Seether.
Woo. I voted Stained.
I voted Seether. Why did you vote Stained?
It's one of those things. I love Aaron Lewis. His voice is just amazing. I mean, it's one of those things. He went from being a hard rock artist, and he still pull off being a country artist at the same time.
Oh,
So it's just kind of one of those things. I thought he was great musicianship. But I love Seether. I do. I love Seether just as much. But
well, then why didn't you vote for him? I voted for Seether because I've heard more of Seether's music, and I like Stained, but Seether, I can just there's more of that edge that I like in my music, and so I went with Seether.
Well,
I had to.
I respect Seether a lot because for one, they're a 3-piece group, but Stained is one of those kind of things that I thought was awesome because they're hard rock, but a lot of their stuff has the acoustic element.
True, very true. I have to give him credit for that because I love acoustic versions of almost every song that's known to rock.
Oh yeah, same here.
All right, well, since Stained is this week's winner, we'll be playing them first, and then Seether will be played right after. So here's Believe by Stained on 88.1 The Edge.
Edge 88.1. All right, we're going to talk about some bad tattoo choices that people have gotten of rock stars and different rock genre stuff.
People choose to get bad tattoos? What?
What? Oh my gosh, yeah, it's actually definitely true.
I was going to say, no one actually chooses to get bad tattoos, it's just they go to the wrong people.
Yeah. Well, like, this happened, there's one of Dave Grohl on some guy's beer gut, and it's stretched out, so you can't even really tell it's Dave Grohl anymore. There's a whole bunch of different ones of like full band tattoos where they get the whole band on their back or something. So like there's ones of Green Day, there's ones of Metallica.
Well, I was going to say Green Day is not too bad because it's only 3 people.
Agreed. But like these aren't people's song lyrics. These are actually like faces. They're getting like their idols' faces. There's one of Dimebag Darrell in the guy's armpit, and the facial hair is his arm hair.
That's awkward.
And stuff. So there's some bad tattoos out there. But there definitely are some really good tattoos out there as well. And actually, you have some rock tats, don't you?
Yeah, I've got my Shinedown tattoo. So far, I've only got the one.
Yeah. So is it a picture or is it more of like lyrics?
It's lyrics from the song Bully. It's my head is clear, my voice is strong, now I'm out here to right the wrong. And I use the font that they use in their lyric video for that song. Yeah. Because it just fit. I liked it. Then I got the symbol next to it. Originally I was going to get it filled in, but then I'm like, nah, the lyrics are kind of raggedy. Let's just make it look kind of rough. And it turned out really cool.
Well, why'd you get, a rockstar tattoo of like, is it Shinedown your favorite band?
Shinedown, I have a lot of history with Shinedown. So I felt it was only appropriate to get something that symbolized and represented a band that meant so much to me. Yeah. Put into my skin. I'm actually, I sent the entire lyrics from Fly From the Inside to him, which was the first Shinedown song I ever heard.
Yeah.
And so he's going to draw me up something. I don't know what it's going to be, but I'm going to go over it with him, obviously, before he just puts it in my skin.
Oh,
but
yeah.
It's a big step. I'm trusting him.
Well, good luck with that. If you want to check out any more of those Rockstar tattoos, go on Loudwire and type in 25 Worst Rock Tattoos.
Or go to our Facebook page. We'll post the link there.
There we go. All right.
Just search Night Owl Rock Show on Facebook.
Right on. Up next, we have Love, Hate, Sex, Pain by Godsmack on 88.1.
Lonely Day by System of a Down here on 88.1 The Edge. You're still tuned in to the Night Owl Rock Show with Curtis and Sarah. So right now we've got a little segment that's, I don't know if it's going to continue on our show or not, but we're going to call it the Not So Proper Rockers.
Which happens a lot.
Yeah, rockers are never proper, apparently, except at award shows where they have to be. But Axl Rose from Guns N' Roses got his case turned down when he tried to file a lawsuit against Activision for them apparently breaking some promise within their rights with Guitar Hero and all that stuff. They said, or Axl Rose claimed that they could use Welcome to the Jungle so long as they disallowed any images of Guns N' Roses or Velvet Revolver, but Slash is featured as a character in the game, and so he was all upset with that because he's just upset with Slash in general, and it's ridiculous. But at least the judge was like, no. Quit being a baby, get over yourself kind of thing.
Which is true. I'm sorry, when I think of Guns N' Roses, I automatically think of a top hat and the guitar wearing sunglasses, you know?
Yeah, and Slash is doing so much better than Axl Rose is anyway. I mean, his performance with Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators last year.
Oh, amazing.
So good.
It was so good.
But he's not the only one who's in some trouble. The singer of Lamb of God, Randy Blythe, he's currently on trial because he was accused of manslaughter at one of his concerts overseas.
Yep.
But the trial is actually being put on hold until March because one of Blythe's witnesses is sick, and they want to make sure that he or she can testify. So they're putting the trial on hold. But the accusation is that he apparently threw a concert goer off the stage, and the concert goer later died from injuries sustained at the concert, but Blythe is saying that he never came into contact with it. So it's this big thing, but they're at least putting the trial on hold so that way he can make sure that his witness is able to testify for him.
Yeah, and you gotta feel bad kind of for the guy, 'cause, I mean, there has been some incidences in the past where crazy fans have got up on stage and done some bad things, like with the Dimebag Darrell incident.
Yeah, I feel bad that he's stuck over there, though they said that he'll be returning to the U.S. while the trial is put on pause, so that'll be good for him. At least he can get back to the States.
Yeah. Well, other than that, there's also David Silvera, the original Korn drummer. Last March, he actually got in a wreck where he backed up into somebody, and he was charged with DUI.
Ooh.
And he just now pleaded guilty for it.
Wow,
but
a year later.
Yeah, a year later, and the thing is he said it was because he took a sleeping pill, and the sleeping pills is what were causing him to be drowsy.
Some rock stars, I tell you what.
Oh, yes.
They're ridiculous. Anyway, you listeners out there, all you night owls, be proper rockers. Proper, please.
Be safe, everybody.
Yes. Respect the law. It's there for a reason.
Exactly.
All right. Up next, we've got Little Black Submarines by the Black Keys here on 88.1 The Edge.
Edge, 88.1. We got some other kind of bad news for rock stars, but Tool drummer actually is still recovering from a crash that he had in January, and it's just been released that he was actually involved in it. He was in a scooter accident. He was driving, and he hit some oil patch or some antifreeze is what he thought it was in the road, and just landed square on the pavement, and he actually broke a couple ribs and dislocated his shoulder. So
Okay. Scooter accident, like a Vespa?
Yes,
scooter?
like a Vespa-type scooter. Like
the drummer from Tool was driving a Vespa.
A Vespa.
Oh, my gosh.
That's
not rock at all.
I wasn't driving my Harley Davidson down the road. No, it was the scooter.
I was totally in a bike accident. I mean, it might have been a scooter, and I might have only been going 10 miles an hour, but that's not the point. It's metal.
It's metal.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, no.
That's so... Okay. Well, Marilyn Manson is also in the sense of recovery, working on getting back up to his full self. He was performing in Canada on February 6th, and he collapsed on stage. Like, he got down on his hands and knees, and he ended up throwing up on stage. And his road crew had to carry him off, and apparently he was suffering from the flu. Like, he hadn't been feeling good all day, but he still wanted to perform. And that shows dedication right there to get through an entire show, because apparently it was during the last song, Beautiful People, that he collapsed on stage. But he said that his next show is still going to go on, so, he's toughing it out.
What a champ. All right, up next is Feel Good Inc. by the Gorillaz on 88.1.
KDPS 88.1 The Edge. This is our last moment with the Night Owl Rock Show for this Sunday evening. But before we go, we've got our next Battle of the Bands announcement.
Woo!
For next Sunday, we are asking you to go to our Facebook page, Night Owl Rock Show, and vote for the favorite band out of the two that I'm about to say. First up, we have Buck Cherry. And they are versus... I don't even remember who we decided.
Puddle of Mud.
Thank you. It's an off night. I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, it's Buck Cherry versus Puddle of Mud. So go on our Facebook page. I'll post a picture later on tomorrow, and you can tell us which band you like better, and whichever one gets more votes will be played first right around the 11 o'clock hour next Sunday.
Yep, and keep telling your friends. I mean, how many likes are we up to now?
We have 26 likes!
Woo, 26. So let's get that up. We need to at least get 50 people on this site, right?
Yes.
I mean, come on.
The more, the better.
All right. Well, my fun fact of the evening is Smoke on the Water by Deep Purple, which everybody out there that learned guitar learned that
I'm a rock star. I can play Smoke on the Water.
It actually refers to Frank Zappa's show in Montreux in '71, where someone in the fans shot a flare gun up into the roof of the place and burnt the place to the ground. So it was actually true what they say in the song.
Nice. That's really interesting, actually.
It is.
All right, well, that's the end of our show. To all you night owls still out there, have a good one, and we'll see you next Sunday.
Rock on, everybody. 88.1 The Edge. You're listening to the Night Owl Rock Show with Curtis and Sarah, the show that rocks your socks.
Yeah.
Tonight's news, we got Aerosmith and Foreigner getting into the Hall of Fame. We also have some argumentative police action stuff that's going on.
More Nuts and Proper Rockers.
Oh, no.
What?
And we have some label news as well. And, of course, we have our always famous Battle of the Bands.
Woo! Also, we have another band coming back to make more music and please the fans. It will be amazing! But first, we're going to listen to some more music. Up next, we've got Word Up by Korn here on 88.1 The Edge. 88.1 The Edge. You're still tuned in to the Night Owl Rock Show. And that was 9 Inch Nails, which, speaking of, they're coming back! Woot woot. I'm so excited. Like, you guys have no idea how excited I am for new 9 Inch Nails music. It's going to be great.
It's definitely been a while. Like, what? They broke up in 2005, I think?
I don't even know when they broke up. All I know is they broke up and there stopped being new 9 Inch Nails music, and I was all sad, and a lot of my friends were up in an outrage because they're huge 9 Inch Nails fans.
Oh, yeah.
And just the other day, Trent Reznor was an amazing man and announced that they were going to be making music again, and I can't wait.
So is it going to be like all original members, or is it going to be
they're keeping the original drummer from 9 Inch Nails and the original like keyboardist, and then Trent Reznor, obviously. But they're bringing in a former bassist from Jane's Addiction, and then another instrumentalist from a band that's called it looks like Pucifer.
Oh,
that
yeah,
sounds right.
I've heard of them. Yep.
Okay, because I've never heard of them before, so I'm like
more of a hard rock group.
Okay.
Yep.
But yeah, so he said that he's really looking forward to working with some new people, as well as getting new music out to the fans.
Oh yeah, that should be really good, I think. Especially, Jane's Addiction's had a long career, and I don't really know a lot about Pucifer, but I mean,
I don't either.
I bet that a new lineup change will be good for the group.
Yeah, and they also said that there is going to be a fall U.S. tour. So all you Nine Inch Nails fans out there, just keep your eyes and ears open for news about the concert tour coming your direction, because it's gonna happen. And when it comes to this area, I'm going.
Yeah, same here. Reserve me a ticket.
Yes, it will be fantastic. Alrighty, well. Other than that excitement, we've got more music for you. Up next is Holy Diver by Killswitch Engage here on 88.1 The Edge.
88.1 The Edge. I have some really sad news in the hard rock and classic rock industry.
Aww.
Eric Clapton has announced that he's actually going to retire. He's going to release a new album coming out on March 12th called Old Sock, which I'm actually really, really excited to hear.
That's
and everything.
In a couple days.
It is in a couple of days, which will be, really awesome to hear some new music from Clapton. I think his last album came out, was just a compilation album with him and J.J. Cale. Mm-hmm. Was the last time we've heard anything new from Clapton. So this will be, a good change. The thing that's kind of sad is he's quoted saying, "When I'm 70, I'll stop. I won't stop playing or do on-offs, but I'm going to stop touring, I think." So as of now, Clapton's going to do a tour promoting the new album and everything, but after that, who knows if we'll ever see Clapton out on stage and on tour again.
Well, it's hard to say, because, they said that David Bowie wasn't going to tour with this new album, and now he is, so...
It's still up in the air about David Bowie, actually. They don't know.
Okay, well, it has been rumored that he is versus the
True.
certain no that we had a couple months ago. So,
True.
You never know.
I doubt it, though. I mean, Clapton's also, he's going to be 70 years old, heavy tour scheduling. When you get that old, it starts looking a little out there. I mean, even the Rolling Stones are on the same line as Clapton, and the Stones only do 1-2 shows a year, if that, maybe only once a show every 5 years. So I see Clapton doing something more on the lines what the Stones do and just play a show every once in a while instead of actually go out and play 12 dates or, 24 dates or something like that.
Well, and it'll still give fans a chance to see him play at some point. It's not like he's just stopping for good. Mm-hmm. So that's definitely a little bit of a bright spot in the sad news. For sure.
But it'll be interesting to see what comes of Eric Clapton and all of his legacy and everything. All right. Well, up next we have That Fire by Black Tide.
88.1 KDPS. You're still tuned in to the Night Owl Rock Show, and it's time to announce this week's winner of the Battle of the Bands.
Woo!
So, this week was close again, and we had a lot more people who actually went to our Facebook page and commented. Well, they didn't go to the Facebook page, but they still commented.
It's still the most votes we've ever had.
Yes. In a 7-6 not so big landslide, the Gorillaz beat Death Clock by 1 vote, and this makes me sad.
Woo.
No, not woo.
I voted Gorillaz on this one.
Why?
I've been a Gorillaz fan longer than Death Clock. It's really the only reason.
Really? That's it?
Yep.
That's it?
I mean,
it's not the musical quality or the fact that Death Clock can rock your face off, where the Gorillaz are just kind of like meh.
Well, I mean, I own all the Gorillaz albums, and I've been a big Gorillaz fan for quite a while. I never really watched Metalocalypse or any of that stuff for Death Clock all that much.
See, I got both of their albums before I started watching Metalocalypse, so it wasn't that was kind of my intro to them, and it's Death Clock, and I have to like hard rock somewhere, so if I'm gonna like hard rock, why not Death Clock?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that I don't like them by any means. I prefer Gorillaz over them just because I've known them longer.
Yeah, that makes sense. I've technically known the Gorillaz longer, but I don't know as much of their music, so meh. Alright, well, since you guys voted for the Gorillaz, we'll play them first. We've got them coming up, followed by the band that should have won, Death Clock.
Hey now. Gorillaz won for a reason.
It's just because my friends didn't all, speak up when they should have.
Okay.
Alright, well, we've got the Gorillaz for you here on 88.1 The Edge.
88.1 The Edge. This year's 2013 Singer-Songwriter Hall of Fame is going to include Mick Jones and Lou Gramm of Foreigner, and of course Steven Tyler and Joe Perry of Aerosmith. Mick Jones and Lou Gramm have actually had an arsenal of like 10 multi-platinum albums. They've had multiple top 30 hits. Some of those include songs like Feels Like the First Time, Cold as Ice, Long Long Way From Home. All these songs ended up becoming really big hits, as well as Jukebox Hero. And they've also had a number of number one hits, one of them including I Want to Know What Love Is, an old classic 80s ballad.
Yeah, Foreigner was pretty big, so I'm not surprised by that one at all.
Oh, yeah. I mean, let alone outside of their careers, Mick Jones has even been famous for producing a lot of famous records. Some of those include Billy Joel's Stormfront and also Van Halen's 5150, the first album with Sammy Hagar singing on vocals.
Huh.
So, I mean, 2 very big albums.
Yeah.
He's also he's produced a lot of songs. Dreamer by Ozzy Osbourne, co-wrote on that. But as for Aerosmith, Steven Tyler and Joe Perry have sold more than 150 million albums worldwide.
Wow.
Some of the biggest American band in the world are from Boston. They also have been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which not a lot of artists have been, So it's kind of a big deal to see both of these artists go in.
Yeah, it is. That's really cool.
Outside of that, there's some other type of news. I actually met last week Brad Whitford, the guitar player for Aerosmith. His son, Graham Whitford, actually plays in a group called Tyler Bryant and the Shakedown. They're kind of a blues, hard rock group. And I actually met with Graham after the show and got a picture with him and talked to him for a minute. And I mean, their group put on an amazing show, so if you haven't heard of them, go in and check them out.
You met someone who is the
son of an Aerosmith guitar player.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and it's cool that that his dad's a famous guitar player, and now he's going on to do the same type of thing.
Yeah, that's like father, like son, I guess.
88.1 The Edge. Up next, you got The Bleeding by Five Finger Death Punch.
88.1 The Edge. You're still tuned in to the Night Owl Rock Show with Curtis and Sarah. So we've been talking about like a bunch of different reunion stuff between bands, and this one isn't really a reunion so much as it is a member coming back to a band. The guitarist from Korn, Brian Welch, is coming back to Korn for a couple different shows this year, and it's looking like he's going to start playing with them a lot more again, which I'm excited for.
I'm very excited for. I've always been a big Brian Head Welch fan.
Have you listened to his other band that he's in?
Yeah. What are they called?
They're called Love and Death.
Yes, Love and Death. I actually really like them. The song "The Abandoning" is actually really good. The music video is kind of out there, but they're actually a Christian rock group.
Woo, Christian rock. There's actually a lot of Welch's fans who are worried that if he goes back to play with Korn a lot, that he's going to kind of fall back into the old rock star ways. And then there are other fans who are sticking up for him, going, no, look, he's in the right place, he's doing what he needs to do, he's not gonna break, he's not gonna fall off the wagon or anything like that.
I really don't think he will, just in the fact I read his book Save Me From Myself, and it was actually he was very insightful about how he doesn't ever want to go back to that. And he's been clean now. I mean, it's been probably 6-7 years since he's quit Korn, so he's been clean for quite a while. And this other group, is a Christian rock group. He's devoted his whole life, to Christian music and everything. And now, coming back to Korn, I think he's just going back, kind of as a nostalgia thing and a respect for all the Korn fans that liked his years in Korn.
Yeah, I definitely don't think that he's going to have too much of an issue with it. I mean, there's other members of the band there who have to respect him as their former guitarist and be like, hey, this is your decision. We're not gonna try and push you into anything that you don't want to do. Yeah.
Well, and all the members have came out and said that they've had past drug addictions and everything, and now all the other members are clean. So I feel, if all the members in the band are clean, he comes back in and plays with them, there shouldn't be any motive or anything for him to do them.
Yeah, no big deal. Korn will just sound a little more corny. That was a bad joke. I'm sorry. I'm not really all that sorry. Anyway, so that's exciting news. And up next, we've got Sail Haunt Me by Stone Sour here on 88.1 The Edge.
88.1 The Edge. Some news that came out on Friday that is kind of interesting is Scott Weiland says that the whole firing stunt from the band of Stone Temple Pilots was actually false. It was just a way to boost upcoming concert ticket sales. And really, I think that's kind of a false move on his part. I bet he actually is kicked out of the band, because there was actually a tweet from Slash saying that Scott Weiland had the same type of problem when he was in Velvet Revolver, which Scott is no longer a singer of as well.
Yeah, I think he's just really trying to, hang on to things, and he can't let go of the fact that he's just not in the band anymore.
Well, that's the thing. He's had so much problem with addictions and everything else all the way through his career. I think the rest of the bands that he's been in with, they're just like, it's time, Scott, that you are out.
Gotcha. I was actually going to ask if you knew why they ditched him.
There hasn't actually been any release of information yet. I've checked to see if they had released anything. But Scott is actually saying that he doesn't know why, and that he doesn't know why they're not communicating with him. But he says that the band is still his, and that he actually still thinks he's in the group, Stone Temple Pilots.
Drama queen.
Exactly. And he just flat out said to the interviewer, he's like, this is the band that I started. So
yeah, just because you start a band doesn't mean you're going to be in it the entire time.
Well, and he wasn't the only writer either. He's making it sound like he's the only one that wrote music, when really he's just pretty much the front man, and frontman can be replaced.
He just needs to get over himself and move on. That's all I have to say about the entire thing. Just move on.
I agree. Well, up next you have Stricken by Disturbed here on 88.1 The Edge. 88.1 The Edge. Well, tonight, instead of Curtis's fun fact, it's going to be Curtis's funny fact of the night. This week, there was a couple in Cleveland, and they're at a Motel 6, and they got in a huge argument over who was a better guitar player, Slash or Eddie Van Halen.
Well, obviously it's Slash.
Of course, I love Slash. And anyways, the fight escalated out of control, and authorities actually came and had to bust the fight up, and the couple were hauled to jail over fighting over the two different guitar players.
Wow.
So it's kind of an interesting thing, not to fighting. I mean, I could get in a heated debate over guitar players, but I don't think it would get that heated.
I would punch somebody over a disagreement on a band.
Yeah.
All right, well, for next week, for you guys to keep in mind, our Battle of the Bands contestants are Shinedown and Breaking Benjamin. We don't really have a reason other than they came out around the same time. They had their first single around the same time. So, I'll have the picture posted on our Facebook page, Night Owl Rock Show, later on in the next 24 hours. So make sure you go check that out and let us know which band you like better. But it is the end of our show.
Oh.
Sadness. We wish we could stay with you longer, but we would probably pass out on the air. So to all you Night Owls still out there, have a good one, and we'll see you next Sunday.
Rock and roll, everybody. All right, you're listening to 88.1 KDPS. My name's Curtis, and some slightly disturbing news that came up on the news today is that North Korea has actually warned that nuke tests are still imminent. They're going on, and they're launching missiles, and actually some of the stuff that they've been talking about is they've been blaming it on satellites, that they're launching up satellites, which is actually not all that true. They've also stated that a lot of these satellite tests actually have nuclear warheads attached to them. And the biggest threat is that they've been talking about that their main focus is attacking the U.S. So it's a very scary topic that's going on. All right, you are listening to 88.1 The Edge. Up next is Mouthful of Diamonds by Fantagram. Enjoy. All right, you're listening to 88.1 The Edge. I'm here with Lindsay, and we're going to talk to you about today some kind of frightening news as well. There's a lot of appliances in your household that are actually considered dangerous, and a lot of people, I had never really, listened to that and figured that it was dangerous, but here's a list of some of the things that is on the list. Kitchen oven cleaners are actually really bad for you. They can say that there's a lot of dangerous products in them. that you should actually just use regular baking soda instead of going out and buying cleaner. Also, another product that's actually dangerous for you is toothpaste. Who would actually thought that toothpaste would be, damaging on your body? Do you have any intake on that?
I'm not a big natural person, only because, I'll use natural products. Like, I'll clean with lemon juice and things like that because I feel like it works a little bit better to get, like, hard water off, like, your faucets.
Oh, yeah.
But not because I'm afraid of anything. However, I wouldn't want my child around that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So, and for me, I'm alive and I'm well, and I've been around that my whole life, so...
Yeah. Well, another thing that's on the list, and this might be kind of strange for a girl, to hear this, but candles, they actually say are bad. They, fill the atmosphere, in your house up with, different carbon monoxides and different things. Do you burn candles in your house?
I do.
So that could be kind of a scary thing, I guess.
Yeah. I never thought those would be toxic, though.
Exactly. Well, you're listening to 88.1 The Edge. Up next is Melody by Aaron Escape. Please enjoy.
Good afternoon. You're listening to 88.1 The Edge, and I am Lindsay. I was reading an article yesterday, and it was such a nice article. I'm so sick of really negative news, so this is a good one. In Plano, Texas, a man was pulled over for having an expired registration, and when the cop pulled him over, he was honest and explained that he had to make the choice of either renewing his registration or feeding his family. And he didn't have a choice but to skip renewing his registration. So the cop let him go, but he gave him an envelope, and inside the envelope was a $100 bill. And so the guy was then able to pay off his registration, or renew his registration and his wife's registration. This is the kind of news that we need to hear more often. This is 88.1 The Edge. You're listening to 88.1. This is Lindsay and Curtis in the studio. And Curtis, I was reading the other day about this study that was done regarding people listening to music and driving, and it was saying that in the study they concluded that people listening to faster-paced music, they tended to speed. No surprise. Yeah. They would brake and accelerate kind of just sporadically, and they figured it was because they were concentrating more on the music than they're driving. Have you ever found yourself out of control because of some music?
I definitely have. I'm not a drummer by any means, but I play a very mean air drum in the car. So, yeah, I definitely notice sometimes if I'm really into a song, I'll get distracted, by the song and not be, paying attention to the road at all. So, it's very scary.
And hopefully at that time you're not in one of the areas that have the cameras, because you want to be cognizant of that. But if you're listening to a good song, you're going to forget that camera's there. But they listed some of the most dangerous songs to listen to while you're driving are "Hey Mama" by the Black Keys, "Paradise City" by Guns N' Roses, and "Hit the Road Jack" by Ray Charles.
Whoa!
And one of the safest songs to listen to is "Tiny Dancer" by Elton John.
Oh, so classic Elton.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep. Everybody be careful out there on the road and try not to listen to anything too fast.
All right, up next is Crack the Bottle by Eminem. All right, you're listening to 88.1 The Edge. In Indianapolis, in the past couple of days, there's been a big feud going on about there was a coroner who was working in a funeral service that said that his boss told him to match up 3 different body parts to 3 different people. To me, this is actually very, very gross and disturbing because, when you die, you kind of want to have your body left the way it is. And the reason that the head funeral director stated that, he wanted this done was that he just didn't know who the people were. They lost the tags, they didn't know who they were, so they were just going to match up the body parts and put them in a casket and go with it. And one guy actually did not want to do this, so he's taking his boss to court over it, and it's going to be a scary deal. I hope that no other funeral services do that. All right, up next, you are listening to 88.1 The Edge. You're listening to Trouble by Taylor Swift.
You're listening to 88.1 The Edge, and this is Lindsay. You always see these fashion shows, and there's always these strange costumes coming down the runway that you would never, ever wear. But I'm pretty sure that this article I read just tops the chart of strange fashion. Fashion designer Shirley Recht debuted a new piece of jewelry at Fashion Week in Paris. And it's a 24 karat gold ring that has a human flesh overlay, and it's of his abdominal skin that he had removed during an abdominal surgery, apparently, which he also filmed while this was going on, and then created this ring. Afterwards, he had it salted and tanned and made this ring, and the price tag on that ring is $500,000. So he's known for his other controversial pieces, but this is pretty gross, and I would certainly never wear this ring.
All right, you're listening to 88.1 The Edge. I'm Curtis, and I'm here with Lindsay, and we have something straight out of a science fiction novel. There's a girl named Kim Susie. She's 23 years old, out of St. Louis, Missouri, and she had brain cancer. She died actually on January 15th. But before she died, she decided that she wanted to have her brain and head frozen just in case in the future that cancer would be cured. What do you think about this? I mean, this is a very, very out there topic.
It is. I don't know if I would do it, but I certainly hope that whoever these scientists are that are probably doing this are setting her family up with, a good trust fund or something like that.
Yeah. I don't think I would do it either. I mean, this is, you have cancer, you're going to die. I think it's, you just go with, the natural order of things instead of trying to, prolonging your life experience. Because how many people are going to be alive when maybe they figure out this, cure or whatever?
Right.
All right. Well, you're listening to 88.1 The Edge. Up next is In the Morning by The Coral. Hope you enjoy. We're logging out. Goodbye. 88.1 The Edge. You're here with Curtis and Lindsay. Today I was looking at some news on MSN, and I saw this really shocking story to me. It was a guy was riding his lawnmower in Florida, and his 2-year-old daughter was out running around, and she fell, and he accidentally hit his daughter, and it severed her legs just above the knee, and it also severed a part of her hand. To me, this is an awful thing as a parent. I mean, you'd be freaking out. I mean, the guy was hysterical, so when they took him to the hospital, they actually had to give him drugs, too, to calm down. Luckily, they life-flighted the girl to the hospital, and she is fine, other than she doesn't have any legs anymore. But, I mean, this is just a scary, scary thing. I mean, people, if you have kids, just watch what you're doing. I mean, slow down if they're out running and playing around. Just be careful. Up next, you have Joy to You Baby by Josh Ritter here on 88.1 The Edge.
I actually saw this on the news this morning and then found this article about this guy, Christopher Christ, and he went to get a tooth taken out at the dentist that was bothering him, and he ended up with no teeth when he came out of the dentist chair. And he's a little upset about it, as I would be too. Apparently they haven't filed any legal actions lately, but, or not lately, yet. And a couple other people were tracked down saying that they went in to get teeth extracted, and one lady ended up with no bottom teeth. It's super weird. And when I saw the news this morning, and they were talking about it, it showed the front of the building, and it said low-cost extractions. So that's a little scary. Anyway, I don't know what I would do if someone pulled out my teeth. I have constant dreams that my teeth are like falling out and stuff. I think probably because I have braces, and I don't know. My teeth are pretty important, and I think other people's are too. So I'm curious to see what happens to this lunatic dentist. Again, this is 88.1 The Edge, and up next we have Boyfriend by Best Coast.
That was Sacrilege by the Yeah Yeahs here on 88.1 The Edge. You're here with Curtis and Lindsay. I was looking online here on MSN.com, and I found this story of a 62-year-old shopkeeper who fought off a couple armed robbers with a baseball bat. You can actually go on and watch the video because it was on security tape footage, and get on MSN and check this out. This guy, seriously, he was like going to town on these robbers. And the robbers actually fired a couple shots at him, but they could never hit him because he just kept hitting him with the baseball bat. And they actually hit him once, though, like in the lower abdomen area, and luckily he was fine, didn't hit him in any vitals. And they actually interviewed him at the end of the story saying, how did you get enough courage to take on these armed gunmen with a baseball bat? But if you watch the video, it's nuts. I mean, he's going all kung fu on these guys. I mean, it's awesome. Here you're listening to here on 88.1 The Edge. Up next, we have The A-Team by Ed Sheeran. 88.1 The Edge. You're here with Curtis and Lindsay. I was looking up some more other stories, and I saw a really cool thing about how scientists at NASA are really starting to believe that there's another Earth out there. And I know it's always been kind of a talk, that there's definitely other life forms of, biological things up there, like in Mars and different places. But this is actually saying that there is another Earth out there, that there's another universe and a sun that goes around it, and the Earth, is around it. It has life forms just like us. So I was going to ask, do you think that this is possible? Do you believe in such a thing? I
do think it's possible, and I'm glad that they're finally saying that, because I just think it's really selfish and I don't know, weird of us for people to be like, no, we're the universe is so big that it almost seems impossible to me that wouldn't be true. Yeah,
and I feel the same way. I mean, we're so tiny as humans that, there's got to be other things out there. We might not be able to see it or make contact with them because it's so far, but there has to be. There's other universes out there. They've proved that. There's completely other galaxies. We can see those other galaxies, and in each of those galaxies, there's planet arrangements a lot like ours. So, in my opinion, I think it is. There is other life forms out there.
Me too, and I'd like to move there for just a year.
Yeah,
it would probably take me 500 to get there, but
Scotty, beam me up to the other place, right?
Definitely.
All right, you're listening to 88.1 The Edge. Up next, you have I'll Wait For You by The Friendly Beasts.
You're listening to The Edge. This is Curtis and Lindsay. And I would like all of you toy poodle owners at home to go look at your toy poodle and see if it has brown or white or mixed fur. And it's about 51 centimeters in length and has a 13 centimeter tail, and if it does, you probably have a ferret that has been on steroids. This guy bought a toy poodle at an Argentinian bazaar and paid $150 for it to find out that it was a ferret, a disgusting little ferret, also known as a Brazilian rat. So this is pretty gross, and if I found out that my poodle was a rat, I think I would just, I don't know, I would just leave my house, lock the thing in, and I would have to have somebody come remove it, frankly. However, I wouldn't buy a toy poodle in the first place. Anyway, so everybody go check and make sure that you don't have a Brazilian rat in your house. And other than that, enjoy our next song. It's You're in a Song by Jason Reeves.
88.1 The Edge, you're here with Curtis and Lindsay. And this is kind of some sad news that I found on MSN, that there was a teen that died after getting hit with a softball during a high school gym class. It said it just hit him in the chest, and 15 minutes later when they were leaving, the kid collapsed, and they had to life flight him out, but he'd already died in the life flight. And I think it was more because it hit him in the lungs, and one of his lung collapsed, and he didn't go, sit down right away, and his lungs filled up with blood. But that's beside the point. This to me is actually kind of a close story, because in my own high school, one of my own friends was in gym class running. They make you do the mile run where they time you and you have to run a certain time. Well, the coach kept forcing him, and the kid kept saying, hey, I'm really tired. I don't know why I'm really winded, but the coach kept saying, you need to finish the mile run or you get a failing grade. Well, my friend actually ended up having a stroke later on that day and during the class, and they had to rush him, and now he's lost, half of his memory and all that stuff. He can't talk. He had trouble walking for a long time. He had numbness on his whole side of his body. So to me, after reading this story and then also having, past experience with this, I really think that gym teachers, they need to start paying attention. Nothing against the gym teachers. They say if you can't teach, you teach gym. But if you need to be careful, just, pay attention to your students. A lot of times, yes, physical activity, I agree, there is the lazy kids out there that don't want to do the work. But there is also ones that there can be some life-threatening issues that go on in gym class. And, teachers, you need to be aware of your students and be careful. All right. Well, up next we have Home by Philip Phillips on here on 88.1 The Edge.
You're listening to 88.1 The Edge. This is Lindsay and Curtis. And I was reading an article today about, well, and we know this happens all the time, about a guy named Roger Gorley who went to a hospital in Kansas City, Missouri to visit his partner of 5 years who would actually try to kill himself. And Alan's family, the guy who would try to kill himself, asked Roger to leave because they obviously don't approve of their relationship. And so since he's not recognized as being a partner or a family member or anything like that, he had to leave. And he actually had a restraining order put on him by the hospital. And they were told he was told he was inappropriate for kissing his partner Alan goodbye. And so anyway, I'm just rather disgusted by this. I think that people need to, whether you support gay marriage or the gay lifestyle, like really, that's what you have to worry about. Like, you're going to make a big deal about it. How it's not affecting you. Who cares? We need to get over it. This shouldn't even be in the news. This shouldn't even be an issue. Anyway, that's all I have to say about that. Up next, we have Thrift Shop by Macklemore and Ryan Lewis, and this is 88.1 The Edge.
88.1 The Edge. You're here with Curtis and Lindsay. Well, I was doing a little research on pilots and how recently there's been a bunch of stuff going on with pilots that texting and also like messing around with their computers or iPads while flying. And really, I never knew this, but they said that when taking off and when landing or when on heights below 10,000 feet, you're not allowed to text or doing this stuff. But when it's heights above 10,000 feet, they're allowed to text or use their iPod or iPads and use their computers. What do you think about that? Do you think that's a safe thing, or do you think it's not that bad of a deal since they have other pilots or whatnot?
Well, I'm not really sure. I mean, I don't feel comfortable thinking like, oh, my pilot's up there on his Kindle reading his novel. That's, to me, isn't. I mean, I guess if he wants to like send a short text, but like I don't feel like. But it seems like maybe they're using them for longer periods of time than I'd like to know about.
Well, I was talking to somebody else here a while back, and I don't remember what the stats were, but they said like a big portion of like main pilots, they'll fall asleep during the flights and stuff, and they'll let just their co-pilot take over. And then a lot of times they fall asleep too, because I know a lot of like the planes, they have the auto tune where they can fly without somebody. Right. But there's still a lot of them that are asleep during that time. Do you think that's safe?
Well, I don't know if it's safe, but I know that I'm not allowed to sleep at my job, so they shouldn't be able to be sleeping in their job.
Exactly, that's what I feel.
Especially when they're flying.
Yeah, I mean, you're holding other people's lives in your hand, especially if you're a commercial pilot and stuff like that. That, to me, is a scary issue. I mean...
And what if your co-pilot, like, had a stroke while you were just snoozing?
Snoozing away, and then, like, you woke up an hour later, and he's a dead guy next to you.
Yeah, really. Or a dead plane.
Planes
full of
falling.
Dead people.
Yeah. I don't know. That's scary topics anymore. All right, you're listening to 88.1 The Edge. Up next, you have Someday by Tegan and Sarah. Enjoy. Edge 88.1. You're here with Curtis Jackson in the studio for a little Halloween spooktacular. This is going to be a theme show for 2 hours from 6 till 8. It's going to be all scary music. I'm also going to have some crazy talk about movies and places to go this Halloween season. So one cool thing that I always think is, a lot of people think that Halloween is just for the kids. Well, really it's not. It's for everyone. I love Halloween. I think even, lots of my parents love Halloween. They decorate their whole house. It's always been a big deal. So, what do you go out and do? I mean, there's parties, there's concerts, there's costume parties, where they rate if you do good or bad on this. There's different contests. There's, or just celebrate downtown. Just go out and dress up. Well, I'm going to this party. That's more of like a costume thing where you get rated on who has the best costume. But I think it's going to be great. But there's a lot of terrible costumes out there right now that's going on in the news and all over Twitter and Facebook. I don't know if you've seen it. It's the Ebola patient. And it's like they either have a patient that's, Grassy like a zombie, or they also have the sexy Ebola nurse. Now, to me, that's just really, I can't stand that they have, making a joke out of this so quick. I can't stand it. So, I mean, that one's really bad, but the other one that I saw that is also equally terrible is the Ray Rice costume. Now, I saw one, there's pictures all over Facebook right now and all over Twitter. I'm going to post one up in just a minute here on Grandview webpage, but it's a picture of a little boy who's like has black face paint and looks like he's been hit. So they have that one, and they also have the Adrian Peterson costume. So I mean, I just think a lot of these are really tacky. Why can't people just dress up in more normal, fun, classic Halloween costumes? Vampires, zombies, any of that type of stuff. For me, I'm going as actually Frankenstein, so classic. My girlfriend's going as Bride of Frankenstein, so it's going to be more of a classic Halloween moment. But up next, tell me what you think about these different costumes and what you're going to be going as. Hit me up on Twitter at KDPS88 or on our Facebook page at KDPS Radio and let me know what you're going as for Halloween. Up next here on this Beggars Night special, we have Scream by Avenged Sevenfold. Stay tuned. Edge 88.1, you're back with Curtis Jackson with the Halloween Spooktacular special. Well, now, since we already talked about, your costume ideas and what's going on, there's a lot of other things that you can do as an adult for Halloween. And one of my favorite things, even as a kid, I guess I love these too, but haunted houses. There's nothing better than going into this place and then just getting scared out of your wits. So I'm going to talk about some of the ones that are out here locally in Des Moines and some that aren't. But to start off my list, for GBTV, which I'm part of on campus here, we went and shot a video for the Ultimate Haunted House, and you can check that out on gbtv.com on the first episode. It's midway through. You'll see it in October, and it's really cool because the Ultimate Haunted House has tons of special effects. So if you're really into the effect side of things, when you're walking around getting that spooky chill, they've got it. They also had the electric chair, where it shakes and the guy freaks out, and a car that leaps at you. So there's a lot of scares around every corner. I mean, I definitely recommend it to anybody. But then there's also some really other good ones around this area. And Lynn's Supermarket has been around for a long time. Everyone loves Lynn's. I've always loved it. A lot of crawling, though. So if you're not a fan of crawling, I would not advise this one. But if you enjoy this dark, spooky, a lot of live actors jumping at you and freaking you out, it's really good haunt to go see. But then, of course, there's the all-time classic. Everyone really loves going to this in Des Moines. It's been around for quite a while as well, but Sleepy Hollow Sports Park, and they hold this big Halloween special where you can go and you can see 4 haunted houses that are all different themed. They have different themed areas, and then they also have a zombie apocalypse forest where you go through. It's like the end of the world, very scary. Me personally, I think those haunted house ones when they're outside are actually more terrifying. There's the wind blowing, and it's just freaky outside, and you don't know where they're coming from either. In a haunted house, you sometimes can tell when they're coming at you, but out there in the woods, you can't. But at Sleepy Hollow, they also have Club Blood, which is a disco type place where people can dance, and it'll be all Halloween themed music. Then they also have a fog maze, which I'm really not good at mazes. There's other mazes all over Iowa. There's the Knoxville Corn Maze, which is really great to go around, but mazes to me are always really hard to go through. But Sleepy Hollow also has haunted hay rides, which shows parking carving, and then the Museum of Fear, which is just really cool paintings of scary stuff. So there's a lot of really awesome places to go in Des Moines to check out different scary things. The one thing I would not advise, though, is I went on a tour of Des Moines. It was up around the Capitol, and it was supposed to be this paranormal investigation, but it ended up just being a kind of a joke. I mean, they said there was going to be EKG equipment. There really wasn't any EKG equipment. It was just some copper sticks, and we'd walk by just these different stores around the downtown area, and they would say it's haunted. You couldn't even go in side or anything, so it really was not a good experience. So I would definitely recommend everybody not to go to these paranormal haunts, because most of them are bogus. I mean, I believe in ghosts, so it's hard for me to say don't go try a paranormal adventure type thing, but this thing was just really fake. So don't go on any of those paranormal hunts in downtown Des Moines. But other than that, there's some really great places that I would always really want to go for Halloween, because Halloween's my favorite time of the year. It's colder outside, you got pumpkins and everything, so it's awesome. But I love haunted houses, and I always thought it would be cool. I've never been there, but I've done a lot of research on it. But it's the haunted Halloween haunts in Universal. Now, they opened up the theme park, and it's completely all spooky stuff. And, Universal was the ones that started the black and white classic horror movies. Dracula, The Mummy, Wolfman, Frankenstein, Creature from the Black Lagoon. All those old, great horror movies that kind of sparked the whole genre of horror. And what we always do on Halloween is watch horror movies. So, I mean, to me, it's really cool that would be a theme park, but they have so many different things. They have laser tag that's a zombie base where you go and you can, shoot the zombie actors with these lasers. And then they also have, rides and haunted houses, tons of them. And a lot of them are very special effects based. I mean, you walk through and it's 3D animation and CGI effects. So I think that would be really cool to go see. There's also a lot of really big ones in the Kansas City area and Chicago area. So if you really want to chalk it up for this Halloween season, just have a little trip and try to catch a bunch of haunted houses. Everyone appreciates the business, and it's a great time for everyone. There's a lot of haunted houses that if you do have children, you can take them as well. So the ones that I listed off in Des Moines area, I would definitely say Lynn's, and Sleepy Hollow has stuff that will also be good for the kids as well. But just be wary. I mean, a lot of kids do not like haunted houses at first, so just be careful. Tell them what it's going to be like, and hope you have fun. If you have any great haunted house experiences, let me know on our Twitter page at KDPS88 or on our Facebook page at KDPS Radio. Also, we have a new student radio website up, so I hope you all check that out. It's kdpsgrandview.wix.com/radio. Up next here on 88.1 The Edge on this Beggar's Night special, we have Dead by Buck Cherry. Edge 88.1, you're back with the Halloween Spooktacular special tonight. And one thing that's always great to do on Halloween is checking out a great scary movie. So I'm going to talk to you about some movies that are actually in the theaters. I'm going to talk to you about a couple movies that are great Halloween classics, and then also not even some movies. So let's get started here. First off, this year in theaters is one of the first years, it seems like, that there's been 3 scary movies come out right in October, so you can go and actually watch a scary movie. It seems like all the great scary movies come out in November or in the spring sometime. I never understand that, because right now is when I want to go check out a scary movie, get some popcorn, and just enjoy a really good scary one on Halloween. So one of the new ones that's really great is Dracula Untold. And this one, I think, is the best movie to come out this year. It's actually the story of Dracula, not the one that we're all used to, Bram Stoker's Dracula that came out in 1992, and also the Universal Dracula is nothing like this one. This one is more the pre-story of how he became Dracula, and then the power and the struggle, and how he was a human before, and the romance and everything. So, I mean, it's a great horror movie. The effects in it are great. The storyline's great. You can be a fan of action movies and still love this. It's not super horror, but it's still just crazy cool. Another one that's came out this year that is a prequel to a movie that came out last year. The movie that came out last year was called The Conjuring, and it was a box office success for horror. And then one that comes out this year, and it's out right now, is Annabelle. Now, Annabelle is a prequel to The Conjuring, and it's about Ed and Lorraine Warren, who are actually famous paranormal investigators. These are real people that they're basing this story off of. But they're studying this doll, this couple that keeps experiencing supernatural occurrences. And then later, they figure out it's from this doll. There's also a whole bunch of satanic
rituals and stuff going on. So I mean, it's really a scary movie. I would definitely rate this as a frightening movie. I would not take your kids to it. This would be more an adult film, but it is very scary. If you liked The Conjuring, you're going to love Annabelle. IMDb only gave it 3 out of 5 stars, but in my own opinion, I would give it probably a 4.5 out of 5. Now, the only movie I haven't seen out of the 3 that I'm going to review tonight is A Ouija. Now, A Ouija, of course, is about an Ouija board, some friends. This one girl loses her close sister, and she finds out that she can contact her through playing an Ouija board. And I think everyone has this scary fascination with Ouija boards, because they are linked to the dead and everything like that. But I think they're actually fake, so I really don't believe in Ouijas, but I think it definitely might be an awesome, scary movie to go check out. So I'm definitely going to check that out here over the weekend for Halloween to celebrate my movie marathon. But now I'm going to tell you about some ones that you can go rent or you can go buy to complete your Halloween experience. Now, I always watch It's a Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. Classic, Peanuts, Halloween movie. You can't live with it. You can't live without it. The classic lines of, I got a rock. That's great. But then there's also the Universal Classics. I love the Universal Classic movies. Also, Halloween or any of the 80s horror movies are going to be great to watch as well for your scary watching. Now, you can watch these in a group, or you can also watch these movies just, with a friend or anything like that, but you want to have someone there because a lot of these are very scary. Now, a lot of people, they don't like movies, so if you don't want to go out and see a movie, you don't want to rent a movie, there's always the option of television. Now, right now in television, we have a lot of actually scary TV shows, which hasn't happened for a while, which I really enjoy because I'm a horror buff. So I would definitely recommend The Walking Dead. It's one of the top-rated TV shows right now on cable television. And then you also have American Horror Story, also a great series. The story changes up every season, but they keep a lot of the same actors, so it's a really interesting concept. And then, of course, we have Bates Motel. I'm a huge Psycho fan, Alfred Hitchcock, so when they started up this series about the development of his mom and more of him showing the story, it's really cool. So if you were a fan of the old Psycho movies, I would definitely recommend checking out Bates Motel. Now, my last one is a show that's been on for now 10 seasons, I believe, so it's a little bit older, but it's still very great for horror TV, but that would be Supernatural, about 2 brothers who fight all sorts of different battles and then end up fighting, tons of different scary monsters. Like they fight Bloody Mary, for example, and a whole bunch of other things. They fight demons, and I think if you're any fan of the horror sci-fi genre, you would definitely get into that. If you liked the old X-Files shows, you would love Supernatural. So maybe take a look since you have this Halloween time to enjoy some scary television, or take yourself out for a movie and see one on the big screen. Up next here on this Horror Beggars Night Marathon, we got Monster by Skillet. Edge 88.1, you're back with Curtis on the Halloween Spectacular theme show. And that was a little Ghost of You by My Chemical Romance. So everyone has these great memories that you make on Halloween and holidays, and that's really what all holidays are about. So I think usually when you think of Halloween and memories, you think of trick-or-treating, what your favorite costume was. I remember down to the T, my favorite costume was a Darth Maul from the first Star Wars movie, and I had the lightsaber and the mask and the cape, and I loved that. But the sad thing is that I look back on it now, I mean, my memories were great because I went from house to house, on a bunch of streets, and probably had 2 candy buckets full of candy by the end. But kids don't do that anymore. I mean, kids really, they have hospitals or nursing homes, which is not saying that's a bad thing. It's just, it is really sad to see that the Halloween tradition of, going house to house is kind of dying. Kids really don't do that as much. I mean, I guarantee there is a good majority who still do that, but there is still quite a few that they don't. They go to the malls. Malls have stuff set up. A lot of businesses now are having Halloween trick-or-treats, safe trick-or-treats. Here at Grandview, there's a safe trick-or-treat tonight. And so, there's a lot of people that are worried, going house to house. But my family, we always just did that, and it was great. So that's definitely a big plus on one of my favorite Halloween memories. But another thing that really I enjoyed almost more for Halloween memories in my family is we always decorated extensively. We almost decorated more for Halloween than we did Christmas, because I loved scary movies. I loved Halloween in general. At my grandparents, I actually had a bat cave that was all Halloween decorations that was left up year round. But my favorite memory of all time is my 7th grade year of school. I grew up on a farm, so we had a Halloween forest across the road. I had a bunch of my friends and our neighbors. They all dressed up, and a bunch of people would go through this forest, and we'd scare them, and it was just a blast. It'd be a lot of fun, I think, to work in a haunted house today, because I've done a lot of scaring. When you scare somebody, for some reason, that's just such a fun feeling. So I definitely would say that that's my favorite Halloween memory, and that's what tonight is all about, people. So make sure you go out there, and if your kids are trick-or-treating or over the weekend here, make some great memories. That's what this holiday's about. It's about going out, having fun. You can dress up like somebody you've never thought you could be. You can be a pirate, you can be a cop, you can be an alien, for all that matters. You can do whatever you want. So it's the one night a year you can act goofy and no one's gonna think you're a weirdo. Just some last things before I close up this Halloween spooktacular segment. Check out the GBTV episode that's going to be coming out here for September. It's released last night. And then this next week, the October episode will be released, where there's the coverage of the zombie walk in Des Moines, the haunted house interviews, a short ghost film, a zombie music video. So it's a Halloween package, so make sure you check that out on gbtv.com. And then also make sure you check out our new website for GV Radio, KDPS at grandview.wix.com/radio. Up next on The Edge Spooktacular, we have The Ghost Inside by Broken Bells. Stay tuned. Edge 88.1, you're here with the After Hours Talk Show. Now, tonight's talk show is going to be a little bit different. Mike's going to be taking the 9 o'clock hour, and you're stuck with me from 8 until 9 tonight. Before I get too carried away, that was a little Big Dada's Some Dangerous, and that's going to tie into our man card segment. But before I get going into that, we need to introduce, we got this new Grandview KDPS website, so you need to go out there and check it out. It's kbsgrandview.wix.com/radio. Woo, that's a mouthful. But definitely check it out. There'll be some really awesome content on there, and you get to see what some of our DJs are doing in some blogs and different videos, so it's definitely really cool to check out. Well, on to our man card segment of the tonight. Going with a little Dangerous by Big Dada. So, a man that's 32-year-old was attacking 4 police officers in New York with a hatchet, out of all things. And the reason I think these, police officers need, a man card is how many people have seen The Shining out there? Anyone running at you with a hatchet or, a big old axe, it's terrifying, right? Well, anyways, this guy hit one of the officers in the arm and another officer in the head. So the one that's got hit in the head, he's actually in critical condition still. But the 2 other police officers over there shot and killed the guy. So I definitely believe, that these police officers, they deserve their man card for what they did, protecting each other. And, to me, it's just really weird. In today's society, we have all these weird attacks going on, like the deal in Oklahoma with the guy trying to behead women. And then now some guy randomly attacking 4 police officers with a hatchet. You can't be safe on any street out there, it seems like, anymore. Well, I do have one other man card that is a little different, having to do with police officers as well. There was a guy named Gavin Seam, and he's actually a big law person. He's really big into studying law and different rules that people break and everything. Well, one of the things he noticed is there was an unmarked police car in Washington that was pulling people over for speeding tickets, even though his car was unmarked. There was no decals of the station or anything like that. But he went up to the window. He's like, in Washington law, this is illegal for you to be an unmarked police car pulling people over for speeding tickets. So I think it's really cool. He stood up to the police officer, and could have gave him a ticket, as citizen's arrest. But he ended up didn't just explain to the police officer. The police officer was very nice about it. So to me, it's really crazy. I actually had an experience where I almost did a citizen's arrest. I was driving, and the cop right next to me was blatantly texting and driving the whole time. Now, my thing is, you're supposed to be upholding the law to everybody else, so you should do the same thing if you're a police officer out there. So as a citizen, Gavin Seam for calling out this police officer, standing up for what's right, that guy definitely deserves his man card, so I'm tossing one out to him. So now I'm going to change the topics here just a little bit on your man card. We got a little animal news. In Canada, actually, there was a family that they called in the animal control group because they said they were having a snake problem. And I don't know about any of you out there, but snakes are pretty terrifying to have in your house. I mean, yes, they do a lot of good, but they're terrifying, right? They slither around, it's freaky. But so this Canadian family, they called in and said they had a few of these small snakes in their house, garter snakes. But it turns out after the animal control group came in and got all these snakes, there came up to be 102 garter snakes inside this person's house. So, I mean, quite a few in there. But the Salt Haven West Wildlife Center, they have one female who actually took in all the snakes that were captured, and she's actually taking care of them. Hopefully going to reset them back out to the wild. So I actually think that she needs to have her man card, because I don't know about you, I don't want to be messing with 100 snakes, but she definitely has the power to do that. And then for my last man card segment of tonight, this one's actually a really heartwarming story. It's actually very sad, and it's kind of a different man card. But Michael Wizenburg, who recently just died of a struggling illness, he had both cancer and some other illness, he left over 30 letters to his daughter and his wife, just different times. His daughter's 1 year old, and he left, her all of her birthdays up until she was 18, Christmases, some Valentines, Halloween, just, letters of encouragement, because he's not going to be there forever. But they also found poetry books and, different things, and he wrote letters to his wife, and they're all labeled, for different times that they're going to open them, throughout their lives. And to me, this is just an awesome thing. Someone who is maybe struggling with a disease out there, and you have loved ones that you really care about, you leave them, this message of, goodwill, even though you're not there. So I definitely think Michael Wizenburg deserves his man card, even though he's no longer with us. That is a man-worthy thing. Your daughter will definitely always appreciate that, because to know that you loved her that much, that, you were dying and you left these things for her because you cared so much. So it's just a heartwarming story. Almost getting teary-eyed here in the studio. But definitely deserves a man card, so I'm going to give him his man card. Well, if you guys have any man card nominations that you'd like to have us toss out here on the After Hours Talk Show, let us know on our Twitter page at KDPS88 or on our Facebook page at KDPS Radio. Up next here on 88.1 The Edge, we have Little Sister by Queens of the Stone Age. Stay tuned and rock out with me until 9 o'clock here on Edge 88.1. Edge 88.1, you're back with the After Hours Talk Show. And you're here with Curtis for my last segment of the night before Mike comes in and rocks your world from 9 to 10. That was Little Paralyzed by Rock Kills Kid. And now we're going to do a little bit of that segment of I'm so tired of. Well, this week, the thing that really upsetted me out of anything that happened this week is I was walking to the vending machine to get my usual Mountain Dew. I can't go one day without having a Mountain Dew. Getting your caffeine fix. And you go up to a vending machine and you put your money in, and it shoots the money back out. It won't take the money no matter how many times you flatten the bill out on your leg and you flip it around the other way and shove it in a different way, and it always just spits the money back out. And then you go to try the credit card machine and it doesn't work either. And so you're just stuck there standing. You can see the Mountain Dew. It's within your reach. You have the money, but the vending machine will not give you your soda. I'm so tired of that. I don't know you people out there, but I mean, it's like being in a desert and you're walking up in a mirage and you're starving for thirst, and you see a pond and you get there and it's just a mirage. That's what being stuck behind a vending machine that doesn't work feels like. I mean, I know it's probably a hard machine to operate, and there is technical difficulties that goes on with these things. But come on, just fix the vending machines. I mean, I live out of a vending machine sometimes because I'm so busy. It's like, I gotta have peanuts or I gotta have my Mountain Dew, so I gotta go to the vending machine, but if it doesn't work, it's terrible. Now, the biggest thing that has been bothering me, this has nothing to do with food, by the way, but it's going on in the music world, is I'm a huge rock music fan. I think a lot of people know that about me. I wear, rock clothing all the time. But Gene Simmons went on the news, and he's done it multiple times now throughout the past month, where he's got up and he said rock music is dead. Now, to me, I have a lot of different problems with this whole story because, for one, Gene Simmons, rock music is how you made your living. That's how you still make your living. I mean, I recently just saw Kiss at Wells Fargo Arena, great show, but you're still raking money in by playing rock music, so how can you tell me that rock music is dead? I understand that the music industry has been faltering, with sales, with the, internet age and everything, but you still have this huge base of people that love rock music, that still want to hear it. I mean, I've attended rock concerts all over Iowa, even in this past year, going to Laserfest and different things, and there is still a huge resurgence of people, young and old, who love rock music. Even when going to the Kiss concert, there was not just people that were my parents' age, up in their 60s, to people that were younger than me, children and face paint and everything. So how can you tell me that rock music is dead? Rock music is still living on just fine, and other people in the rock field have fired back at Gene Simmons. I think he's getting a lot of flack for this, which he should, in my opinion. But Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters recently went on there. He's like, I'm still selling tons of records, and I'm a rock band. And, Foo Fighters' upcoming album's coming out here in November. It's going to be a big seller. It always is. So, tossing back in his face, Dave Grohl's right. Rock music is still very prevalent. Sebastian Bach from Skid Row has actually came on the air as well, attacking Gene Simmons. Saying, I played in bands since the 80s with Skid Row. I played in my own band, Sebastian Bach. And we're still getting tons of turnouts for, concerts. We're still making a living at doing it, Gene. Why do you say rock music's dead? Scott Ian from Anthrax is also one to come out on the airwaves and be like, rock music is still going big. Maybe what Gene was saying is just in a business aspect of, the music industry. It doesn't sell as hot as items like rap or country. I understand that. But it does not mean that rock music's dead. I feel like rock music will be around, just like bluegrass and anything else is still around, even though it might not be as popular as it once was. Also, the other argument on this whole deal with the Gene Simmons is, Gene, there is still great rock musicians coming out every day, putting out great music. And one of them I'm actually going to play right after this is Rainwolf. He's one guy by himself that plays with just a drum and guitar, and it's all rocky blues stuff. It takes a lot of skill for one man to come out, but it's still rock music. There's still new albums coming out every year. And that's another thing that I'm going to toss out there, this whole Gene Simmons, you say rock music's dead. Kiss just recently came out with a new record last year. They came out with a record 2 years before that. If rock music's dead, Gene Simmons, why do you still release records? I don't know. Tell me what you guys think out there about the rock music thing and what Gene Simmons said on our Twitter page at KDPS or on our Facebook page at KDPS Radio. Up next, you're on 88.1 The Edge. We have Are You Satisfied by Rainwolf. Taking the studio from 9 to 10 will be Mike Kelly, continuing with the After Hours show here on 88.1 The Edge. Edge 88.1 with Curtis Jackson for KDPS News. A Senate subcommittee in Iowa looked to change the Iowa ban on fireworks. A survey in 2014 showed 56% of Iowans want the ban on fireworks lifted. Professional firefighter Jeff Danielson believes the bill should be passed because people are lighting them off anyway. Media outlets are coming forward about the Brian Williams case of using misleading information while covering the Iraq War in 2003. NBC News president Deborah Tums stated that this case is ongoing even after the Williams punishment of 6 months suspension. Private investigator Ed Opperman was asked how Williams could have been caught.
With enough time and enough money, you can track down anybody.
NBC's investigation team will be digging into the past news stories to see if this is a pattern. State Senator Ben Zahn has requested a bill that will change maximum interstate speed limits to 75 miles per hour. The last change to Iowa speed laws occurred in 2005 when rural interstate speeds increased to 70 miles per hour. Zahn stated 5 miles an hour is not a significantly higher amount, since 16 other states have changed their speed limits to 75 miles per hour. Beer classification in Iowa has been confusing to many consumers, with anything higher than a 5% alcohol volume is not even considered a beer. Beer connoisseur Robbie Rissman was asked how this change will benefit beer brewers.
I think that this classification is a much-needed change and that it'll also increase sales.
Iowa House lawmakers are voting to have stouts, ales, and other alcohol beverages to be considered a beer. More students are eating free and price-reduced school breakfasts than ever before. The Food Research and Action Center estimated 13.2 million students ate healthy school breakfasts, which is up since last year's number of 12.8 million. More schools will be trying to implement healthy school breakfasts for students. KDPS News, Curtis Jackson, 88.1. Edge, 88.1. What's up, guys? You're back with Curtis Jackson. Well, we're going to give you a little information, a little insight on some things that are going on and what Obama seems to say, and when he compares things, might need a better understanding. So last year, President Obama was in a speech and he was saying that a woman soldiers couldn't fight on the front lines, but he was more worried about his theoretical son playing football. What does that have anything to do with each other? I really don't know. But just so everyone knows, I'm not going against the women that want to be out there serving in the front lines. I think if they want to be shoulder to shoulder with the men out there, that they should be able to do so. This also really strikes home to me as well because my grandfather was a serviceman in the Korean War, which was an awful war, and all the veterans out there need to be recognized. So, thank you for all your service. But the thing I guess I'm trying to get with this little rant is, Obama, what does it have to do with each other? I mean, this is nothing that compares about. I mean, why don't you compare it with something that actually makes sense? Maybe do a little homework before you have to give this big speech. I don't know, guys, but that's just a little insight on what you think about Obama. Let me know what you guys think on our Twitter page at KDPS88. Up next here on 88.1 The Edge, we have Ghost of Days Gone by Alter Bridge. 88.1 The Edge, you are back here with Curtis Half Dollar Jackson. And tonight, for our little ladies and gents segment, I'm going to give you a little dance club etiquette. Because it seems to me, anytime I've ever been to a dance club, it never goes the way you want it to. You see, things that you don't want to see, and it's just always sometimes an odd experience. So I'm going to start off with the guys. Guys, learn some new dance moves. Learn how to dance with people. I mean, seriously, never twerk. Never do the sprinkler. You are not being cool by doing these dance moves. Never do the Bernie. Never do jazz hands. Don't do the chainsaw. Don't do the Q-tip. Don't do the disco hands. None of those are good dance moves. You're just going to scare all the girls off the dance floor, and it's just going to be you out there looking like an idiot. Of course, a lot of guys think that since they go to a dance club that they can just dance whoever they want. They just walk up and, hey, we're gonna dance. No, that's not how it works. It actually scares everybody away. Another big thing is keep your hands in appropriate areas. I don't know how many times I've been to a dance club and you just see groping that should be in a movie that's X-rated. I'm not even kidding. You do not want this type of attention going on. And then, of course, girls, don't offer to buy a guy a drink. The guy needs to buy you a drink. That's always a big deal. Like when you go to a bar, you come off too eager. The guy, is in like, ooh, I don't know about this. Let the guy buy you the drink. Also, let him ask you for the dance. Be like, hey, you want to go out and dance? Because it should be the guy's choice to dance, and ask the girl. It makes the girl feel more special. Also, girls, don't wear clothes that don't cover up all of your body. I mean, I went downtown a couple weekends ago and it was 2 degrees outside and there was girls wearing short mini skirts. Aren't you cold? Where's your coat? Good Lord. Also, girls, wear underwear that is not bright pink or, dark purple, something that is going to be seen through your clothes. Guys do not find that attractive. I don't want to see that you have Hello Kitty underwear on. I just want to see that you're dressed up nice and you look like you're having a great time out. I don't want to see your undergarments. Also, always be careful where you set your drink. Never just leave your drink sitting on a table at the bar. Always keep it with you, keep your hand over it, and don't just expect that your friend's gonna watch your drink for you when you walk away. Always keep an eye on it. Be out there, be safe, guys. Just have a good time. Have an awesome spring break. When you get your chance, tell me on your Twitter page how your spring break went, or on our Facebook page at KDPS Radio. So stay tuned here on 88.1 The Edge, and dance, dance, dance with Fall Out Boy.
Edge 88.1, you're back with the Media Busters, and I know Halloween is over and everything, but we can still talk about some after-the-fact Halloween news that happened. And I think one of the cool things, well, not really cool, I'm actually kind of disgraced by this. A mom let one of her kids dress up like the KKK and go out and go trick-or-treating. Now, it's causing neighbors a lot of outrage, because a lot of people are like, this is a racist group, that wants a lot of problems and places. And so I feel like this is just a problem, because I actually saw, when I was out around, I saw a guy dressed up in a Nazi uniform. And to me, it's just like, you know what, guys? There can be just these costumes that are way too much, and you're just wearing them to cause a problem or get a rise out of somebody, and not in a good way. I mean, I think scary masks and stuff like that, that's getting a rise out of somebody, but in a very good way. It's a Halloween thing to do. But these costumes like the KKK, the Nazi Party, some of those costumes are just outrageous. I mean, I don't know what you think, but a lot of people said, what the little kid said is that he saw it in the movie Fried Green Tomatoes and that it wasn't considered a bad thing, and the mom defended it all the way. But I don't know. I think it was bad. I don't know what everybody else thinks out there. Why don't you tell me at kdps.88 on Twitter and also on Facebook at KDPS Radio. Up next on 88.1 The Edge, we have The Crazy Kids by Kesha.
88.1 The Edge, you're back with Half Dollar Jackson. And tonight's last segment is Controversy. And tonight's controversy is the music industry dead? Well, I really think that it is to the point where the music industry is dead. There really isn't, an industry anymore. There definitely isn't any record labels by any means that are substantial. Back in the old days, everyone had to be signed to a record label to go anywhere. Now, you look at most bands, they're doing independent labels. They're making their own CDs, so they don't have to worry about management or, getting in trouble with, different deals that they have to make, contracts, all that stuff. So a lot of them, they're paying for their own way. They're, selling their records from themselves, from their own websites at their shows, and that's how they go on tour. Now, I really feel that it's really hard for musicians these days just because there's so much music out there. And one of the biggest problems, I feel like the downfall of the music industry happened because of the fans. I mean, people got tired of buying a full album, and so we have the dawn of the digital age where people, instead of going out and buying the disc, they went and downloaded just a single track. And most of the time, none of that, helped the musician at all, because you're just downloading it off a site like Livewire or, pulling the YouTube file up. YouTube and making it into an MP3, which, you know, is stealing. The artist is not getting anything from that. You know, at least iTunes, you know, you're not buying a full album, but you are buying at least a product that they get, you know, a fraction of a cent or whatever. So they at least get a little bit of money and some compensation. But my biggest thing is, if you want to help support the music scene, you need to go see, you know, your favorite bands in concert, be there to support them. Go support local artists who are out there playing music, but also go into these little mom and pop stores instead of, you know, buying your stuff at Walmart or over the internet. Go to these record stores and actually pick up a record. Go get yourself a vinyl record player and plug it in and enjoy some great music. Or, you know, even just buy the CD. Up next here on 88.1 The Edge, we have Life Won't Wait by Ozzy Osbourne. In after me here is Elijah and Boaz. So stay tuned on 88.1 The Edge for some great music.